Hi and welcome to today's video in the Study Unifee's Daily With series. Today's video is for GRE students. As you know, text completion is a very common question in the GRE verbal section. Today, we'll be looking at one particular strategy that you can use to your advantage to solve text completions faster and more accurately. In today's video, we'll be looking at triggers of concession and how you can use these triggers to solve questions that contain them really fast and accurately. First, let's find out what exactly these triggers are and how they work. These triggers are always conjunctions. Conjunctions that join two components of a sentence. Triggers of concession are words that you see like the ones on the display. Although, even though, while and despite. These conjunctions will always join either opposites or two things that are unexpected of each other. They will always join a positive connotation to a negative connotation. Look at the first example with although. Although she was well over 6 feet, all her siblings were really short. Here, although is joining well over 6 feet to really short. These two things are opposite to each other. One means very tall, the other means the opposite, really short. One is a positive. Well over 6 feet is a positive connotation, whereas really short is a negative connotation. Now look at the second example with even though. Even though it was raining, they decided to go for a hike. It was raining is a negative connotation. They decided to go for a hike is a positive connotation. This is an example of even though joining two unexpecteds. When it is raining, what is expected is to cancel a hike. Here, the unexpected is happening. Look at the third example with while. While she was excited about the trip, she had concerns about the weather. Here, excited about the trip is a positive connotation. Concerns about the weather is a negative connotation. This is also very unexpected. If you're excited, you're not expected to be concerned about something. The next trigger is despite. Despite also works in the same way. It joins a positive connotation to a negative connotation, and it joins opposites and unexpecteds. Look at the example. Despite his lack of experience, he managed to complete the task. Lack of experience is a negative, whereas complete the task is a positive. This is another example of joining things that are unexpected of each other. If you are inexperienced, it is expected that you will not be able to complete the task. Here, the unexpected is happening. Now, some more common triggers of concession as they are used in GRE text completion and also sentence equivalence. In spite of works exactly like the other triggers we've learned today. It joins a positive to a negative. It also joins unexpecteds and sometimes opposites. Look at the example. In spite of a fear of heights, she went skydiving. Here, fear of heights is a negative, whereas when skydiving is a positive. These two things are very unexpected of each other. If you have a fear of heights, you usually do not go skydiving. Regardless of is another trigger that works in this way. It joins a positive to a negative. It also joins opposites and unexpecteds. Look at the example. Regardless of the obstacles, they achieved their goals. Obstacles here is a negative, but achieved their goals is a positive. This is again an example of two unexpected things being joined. When there are obstacles, what is expected is to not achieve your goals. Here, the unexpected is happening. Finally, there is even if. Even if also works in the same way, joining opposites and unexpecteds. Even if she fails this time, which is a negative, she will keep trying, which is a positive. This is also quite unexpected. If somebody fails, usually they give up and do not try further. The overall strategy, whenever you're given triggers of concession, is to first identify the clue that links the two things that the trigger joins. Then you can start the process of elimination. First, eliminate by connotation, then eliminate by clue match. Now let's look at an official question, an official text completion from the official guide to see how exactly this strategy works when you are given triggers of concession. Let's read the entire prompt first. Although plant and animal species that become established in ecosystems where they did not originate are sometimes referred to by the alarming term invasive species, many such species are blank in their new environment. Here, although is the trigger of concession. It is joining a very negative connotation to what will definitely be a positive connotation. Because we are sure that although can only join a positive to a negative, when we go to the answer choices, we can eliminate all the neutrals and also all the negatives. D, menacing, gets eliminated because it's a negative term. It means threatening or sinister. Conspicuous is a neutral connotation. It can be either positive or negative depending on the context in which it is used. Distinctive is also a neutral. It can be positive or negative depending on the connotation it is used. So now we are left with two positives. Innocuous, which means harmless, robust, which means strong. Because robust, strong is not opposite or unexpected with something that is invasive, C2 gets eliminated. Innocuous is the best answer because an invasive species is expected to be harmful. Innocuous, on the other hand, means harmless. So this is a great example of how triggers of concession are used. Although joins a negative, invasive species to a positive, innocuous or harmless, it joins two unexpecteds. Invasive species are expected to be harmful. Here, the opposite, the unexpected is happening. Now let's look at another official question, which also uses a concessional trigger. Let's read the prompt. The judge is standing in the legal community, though shaken by phony, which means fake, though shaken by phony allegations of wrongdoing, emerged at long last blank. Here, though is the trigger. Though joins shaken by phony allegations, shaken by fake accusations, to emerged as what? Shaken by fake allegations, mainly shaken, which is the main clue here, is very negative. Therefore, the blank can only be a positive. So first, let's eliminate all the negatives. Unqualified is a negative. C, undecided, 2 is a negative. E, unprincipled, 2 is a negative. Now we are left with only two positives, undiminished and undamaged. Shaken by phony allegations is closest in terms of irony, the sense of the unexpected. 2 undiminished, and thus undamaged gets eliminated. So again, this was a great example how you can use a trigger of concession like though to solve really quickly. First, by eliminating through connotation, then by eliminating through clue match. Now let's look at another question which also uses a trigger of concession. Let's read the sentence together. It comes as no surprise that societies have codes of behavior. The character of the codes, on the other hand, can often be blank. Here, the trigger of concession is on the other hand. On the other hand, just like though and although joins two opposing connotations, a positive to a negative or a negative to a positive. It also joins opposites or unexpecteds. The main clue here is no surprise. Therefore, whatever fills the blank will be opposite in connotation to no surprise. It may also be unexpected in connotation to no surprise. Here, no surprise means predictable. Therefore, A is an elimination. Unexpected, however, is the opposite of no surprise. So choice B must be retained. Admirable, explicit, which means very clear, and confusing are not opposite or unexpected of no surprise, and thus can all be eliminated. So, on the other hand, too works exactly like though and although. It joins a positive to a negative. It also joins two opposites or two unexpecteds. Let's look at a text completion with two blanks. This official text completion question has two blanks and also uses a trigger of concession in addition to other triggers. Let's read the sentence on top first. In her later years, Bertha Pappenheim was an apostle of noble but already blank notions. Here, the trigger is but. It joins the positive noble to something negative that fills the blank. Here, exotic, which means very beautifully different, is a positive and thus can be eliminated. Accepted is also a positive and thus can be eliminated too. Anachronistic, which means old-fashioned or not matching the present era, fits perfectly into the first blank. Why? Because it is opposite to noble and also something that is unexpected of noble. Now let's continue reading the stimulus. Always respected for her integrity, her energy and her resolve, but increasingly out of step and ultimately blank even by her own organization. The trigger for the second blank is the word and. And joins a positive to a positive or a negative to a negative. It always joins related concepts. Out of step is a negative, and thus the second blank too will be a negative. Emulated by, which means imitated by, is a positive and thus can be eliminated. Appreciated by too is a positive, and thus too can be eliminated. Alienated, that means kept outside the main frame, or basically isolated. Matches the context of the sentence perfectly because it matches with outer step in connotation and also context. And thus, by using these two triggers, we've been able to solve this question really fast. And the best answers, as you can see, are A and F. Thanks for watching this video. Like, share and subscribe if you think that this video was helpful in your GRE prep. For more information about GRE or for our GRE online, in-person and hybrid classes, contact Study Unifiz at studyunifiz.io. Till then, all the best for your GRE prep and take care.